Welcome to another edition of E.W. Jackson for America. Great to be with you again today. Great to be back home, by the way. As much as I enjoyed Poland and Israel, particularly Israel, Poland was not so much something to enjoy as just something to take in. I'll be talking more about that, and we're going to prepare a slideshow and post stuff on social media, so stand by for that. But right now, I'm preoccupied with our dinner. Our Stand Awards dinner that's coming up on May the 16th. Hope you plan to come. That's going to be at Cornerstone Chapel, 650 Battlefield Parkway. For all my Instagram folks, 650 Battlefield Parkway. What is that? Southeast in Leesburg, Virginia. So come on out. Tickets are $150. You can donate. You can buy tickets. Both to the dinner and the reception. You can sponsor. You can buy a reserved table, or you can sponsor. And the sponsorships start at $2,000, go all the way up to $100,000 or beyond, for that matter. I'm believing God for an angel investor, multiple angel investors actually, to contribute $250,000, $500,000, $1 million or more to help put our organization really on a solid financial footing. We are 16 years old come July, and I really do want to turn the corner so that we're not hustling from quarter to quarter to meet our budget, but we really can look ahead 2 years, 3 years down the road and be planning for how to make sure that the organization always has the resources it needs to do what it needs to do. And you can't do that, folks, without raising money. You just can't. It's not possible, not feasible. So anything you can do to help us would be much appreciated. I solicit your prayers for the things that we are trying to accomplish. The highlight of this dinner is going to be our Family Restoration Institute, which I'll talk more about as we get closer. So again, go to standamerica.us. That's standamerica.us in order to get more information about just got a notice and it could have threw me off. Get more information about the dinner and how you can support it, and about the organization in general and what you can do to support us. Okay. I'm going to be on American Family Radio today from 4 to 6 live. For those of you who are in an area where you have a radio station and you can listen to American Family Radio, I'll be on from 4 to 6. Co-hosting during Share-a-thon. I will be on, my podcast is posting today. Podcast, which I taped last night, is posting today on American Family Radio. So I'm still part of the American Family Radio family, if you will, association. I don't have a daily radio program, but I am doing a weekly podcast, and I do appear from time to time as a guest host or just a guest interviewer on the program. So I'll be on today from 4 to 6 Eastern time, 4 to 6 Eastern time, 3 to 5 Central time. So be sure to tune in, because this is Share-a-thon, very important time for American Family Radio, for American Family Association, for that matter. Okay, I want to get into this story on this LA soccer coach who has been arrested for the rape and murder of this young boy. I want to start there because, folks, this particularly angers me. And let me just say something that I wouldn't normally say, but I think it needs to be said. This guy, and I believe with all my heart he's guilty, because this is the third time he's been charged. He was charged in 2022 for sexual molestation of a child. He was charged in 2024. I don't know why those investigations seem to go nowhere. And now in 2025, he's charged with the molestation and murder of a child. Now, this guy is an illegal immigrant. Forgive me, that's the wrong vocabulary. He is an illegal alien invader to our country. That's the right way to describe him. He is an illegal alien invader to our country. And he is out there in California serving as a soccer coach to young boys so he can rape as many of them as he wants. Now, we know, if you've got common sense, you know, these are only the three we know about. We know this guy is a multiple serial child molester. He is a pedophile, and he's done it before. And if he is allowed to roam free, as apparently the LA prosecutors are only too happy to have him do, he will molest more children and kill more children. I mean, maybe he felt with the last two things were closing in, and the best thing to do with this one was just kill this one and get rid of him so that he wouldn't have a third charge pending. I mean, well, here's what I want to say that I don't normally say. This guy deserves to be taken out back and shot. Now, he really does. You know, just put him down like the animal that he is. Put him down. Now, I didn't say that's what I would do. I didn't say that's what we as a society should do. What I said was, listen to my language, he deserves to be taken out back and shot. He deserves it. And that's the truth. He does deserve it. But you know, once again, it is a testament to civil society in America that we don't have more people taking the law into their hands in situations like this and saying, you know what, I'm going to do what this guy needs to have done. Somebody needs to take him out. I didn't say somebody, okay, so just hear what I'm saying. It is a testament to our civil society that people aren't doing that. And a good one. That's a compliment. That's a good thing. Because just because he deserves it doesn't mean that we would be better off to do it. Because while it would certainly rid us of a vermin, of a man who is really a piece of trash, because this guy has killed one boy, as far as we know, and ruined the lives of two others. So he's really destroyed the lives of 3 kids. 2 who are alive that he molested, and this one that he molested and killed. And who knows, countless others. Now, somebody was interviewing the prosecutor and asking him, did you know he was an illegal alien invader? And he said, we don't ask that question. We don't get into that. This guy is a soccer coach in your community, dealing with children. You've got 2 accusations of child molestation against him, and you don't ask if he is lawfully in our country? Once again, folks, it underscores these people don't care about the American people. They don't care about illegal aliens either. All they care about is power. They see these people as a pathway to future power for themselves. And they don't care if they rape your children and kill your cat, your dog, and burn down your house. They don't care what they do, as long as they keep them coming and keep building this power base that they think they're building with these people. I mean, you can't explain it any other way, folks. There's no other rational explanation for why you slow walk a rapist, a child rapist, and why, probably knowing that the guy is not American, knowing that he's here illegally, you don't even ask so that he can be turned over to ICE, because I guarantee you this. I would almost stake my life on this. Where'd he come from? He has molested other children before he got here. I'd almost guarantee you that. Mario Edargo Garcia Aquino, 43. I guarantee you he has been molesting children for a long time. And he was molesting them before he got here in the United States of America. I don't know when he came, because again, we don't ask those kinds of questions. Yeah, that would be terribly intrusive, wouldn't it? To ask whether you are in our country illegally. That's just not the kind. That's not a polite question. I'll tell you something. people who don't take seriously what this does to a child who is victimized by this and wink at a guy who does something like this and allow him to go out and do more of it because they don't take it seriously, they deserve to be taken out back and shot just as much as he does. I didn't say do it. I didn't say we as a society should do it. And I didn't say I would do it because I don't believe any of that. I said that's what they deserve. Because you're destroying the lives of innocent children. So you, for your own depraved sexual pleasure? Folks, I have no patience with this. I really don't. I really don't. But it underscores what I've also said. The Democrat Party is a demonic cult. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to assert this because I really believe it to be true. I don't believe that they do take child molestation seriously. I don't think they think it's a big deal. I think that they think children already have sex, and we prudes are just saying that, leave them alone. But it's okay with the kid. I think that in their heads, because look, if you really believe that a child, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, a child is capable of making a decision about the nature of their body with surgery and hormone treatment, as I heard one writer put it, a lifetime of medicalization. In other words, you have to be treated for the rest of your life because you are not what you're trying to be. So you got to be treated for the rest of your life to try to somehow get your body to forget that you're not really a man, you're a woman, or you're not really a woman, but a man. You need medical treatment for the rest of your life. Not to mention the apparent pain, discomfort, and everything that goes with trying to turn the physical attributes, physical sexual attributes of a man into those of a woman and vice versa. I mean, again, this is Frankenstein type stuff. But if you really believe that a child can make that decision, that tells me that your view of a child is one of that child somehow having full, mature consent ability in the most profound area of life. As others have pointed out, you can't drink until you're 18. You can't smoke until you're 18. There's a bunch of things you're not allowed to do until you're 18. But you can mutilate your body. You can make that decision, and we will back you and punish your parents if they try to stop you. Well, then, if you can do that as a child, why can't you decide you want to have sex with an adult? And maybe we should punish the parents for trying to stop that too. I think that's really the way Democrats look at this. When I first got introduced to Barney Frank, you all remember Barney Frank? Barney Frank was the first openly homosexual congressman. I said congressman. I guess you could call him a man. I don't think he deserves that. But when I first got introduced to him up in Massachusetts, you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to lower the age of consent. He wanted children to be able to have sex with adults at a younger age. I kid you not, I remember it very well. He might deny it today, but I remember it very well. It's one of the things that made me leave the Democrat Party. Made me realize I could not reconcile my spiritual and moral convictions as a Christian with the direction in which I saw the Democrat Party going. I couldn't reconcile them. And I really reached a point of moral crisis where I felt like if I left the Democrat Party, I would be upsetting members of my family, particularly my dad, who was a Roosevelt Democrat. If I stayed with the Democrat Party, I would be violating my own personal conscience as a Christian and maybe even displeasing God. Of course, you know what I did. I ultimately chose to please God and said, for everybody else, let the chips fall where they may. Left the Democrat Party and never looked back. Never looked back and wouldn't. Why would I go back to that moral sewer because it's filthier now than it was then. Massachusetts was leading the way. They were the cutting edge, if you will forgive the pun. But yeah, they were the cutting edge of depravity at that time. But now many states have caught up with them. Maine, Vermont, Colorado, and Minnesota. I mean, many states have caught up with them now. California. But this stuff is unconscionable, and I think the Democrat Party doesn't have a problem with it. I really do. I think if they posture about child molestation, I think it is simply performative to convince people that they're really not bad people. They're really normal. But I don't. In their hearts, I don't think they believe it. In their hearts, I think that they think adults should be able to have sex with children. Yeah, I said it because I really believe that that's where they stand. And if you look at the way they behave, you look at the things they support, that's a very rational, reasonable conclusion to come to. Look at what they're doing in Colorado. Democrat Party, as far as I know, unanimously passed legislation that threatens to take away parental custody of their children if the parent does not affirm the so-called claimed gender identity of the child, or if the parent refuses to accept the child's new chosen name as a new gender, misgendering, and chooses to call the child by the name that the parent gave the child at birth. Can I say that again? If the parent refuses to call the child by the name that the parent gave the child, if the parent insists, I should say, insists on calling the child by the name that the parent gave the child at birth, that's called dead naming now. You are dead naming your child. You are violating your child's civil rights. You are misgendering your child, and you are subject to lose custody of your child. And there may be some other civil penalties that they plan to put on you as well, to punish you, to teach you a lesson. Again, Republicans are standing against it, but they don't need any Republican votes in order to pass this. And the governor, who is an open homosexual, Governor Polis, is an open homosexual. And he's been signing this kind of legislation in the past. Who knows whether he will sign it this time? I guess it'll depend on what he thinks is best for his own political fortunes. But every indication is that he would sign it because this is what he's been doing. He's been moving the state further and further and further and further into the abyss of sexual deviancy. And they want now, they don't want to just move it slightly. They want to take a flying jackknife right into the abyss and try to drag the whole state, pull the whole state into the hole with them. So again, I ask you, does that sound normal to you? Does that sound reasonable? You're going to interject yourself between the parents and the child, which is exactly what pedophiles do, right? That's what they do. They interject themselves when the trust of the child, sometimes over the parent, and convince the child that they are more interested in the well-being of the child than the parent is, and you can trust me. And then they use that to molest the child, and then either threaten the child, manipulate the child, or whatever, and convince the child that you can't trust your parents. You gotta trust me in this. I mean, this guy who killed this boy dumped his body 70 miles from where they live. I guess he probably killed him after he used him and then drove him to a spot to get rid of the body. And this is the third charge now. The third charge, not the first, for an illegal alien. and they're talking about the death penalty. We'll see. We'll see. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it, because I don't think these people, I don't think they want to do anything that sends a signal that if you come to America and you hurt Americans, or you molest our children, or you kill our children, that you might have to pay the ultimate price. I think they want people to know, well, even if you're a criminal, even if you come here and you hurt Americans, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that you can stay so you can vote for us. I know, folks, it's ugly, and it's nasty, but I think that's really the way it is. You know, I just mentioned Barney Frank. Some of you are maybe too young or don't remember this, but so Barney Frank's the first open homosexual in Congress. I say when I met Barney Frank up in Massachusetts, he was trying to get the age of consent lowered. There was a scandal while he was in Congress that the guy, his homosexual lover he was living with, was using the apartment he was living in as a brothel, as a homosexual brothel, using it to bring men in to perform sex acts for money. And of course, Barney Frank said, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it." Who was the guy? One of his colleagues from I think it's Providence, Massachusetts, down on the Cape. I think his name was Gerald, if I'm not mistaken. But he was not openly homosexual, but he was homosexual. And he ended up getting sanctioned by the Congress for molesting his 17-year-old page. He molested the boy. The boy wasn't a homosexual. He seduced him. Powerful congressman, 17-year-old. He seduced him. And you know what? They had the nerve to stand up on the floor of Congress and say, I do not apologize for who I am. It was a consensual act between two adults. I think at that point he was in his 40s or something like that. And basically he was absolutely unrepentant, unremorseful. Again, you see what I mean? I mean, that's the kind of thing that, you know, I'm sure there's some fathers who say, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you to be remorseful. Again, it's not what we do in America. I'm not recommending to anybody, but I just commend our country and our fellow citizens that more of that doesn't happen, because, again, this has been going. This degeneracy in the Democrat Party has been going on for a long time. It's metastasized. It is a cancer now. That's why I think that the best thing that can happen for the country, frankly, is the Democrat Party just collapse in on itself and just be destroyed. And out of it comes a moderate center-left party that stops promoting all of the sexual depravity and degeneracy and filth and nastiness and all of that. And instead focuses on maybe issues of welfare or Social Security or the social safety net. And stop trying to be the socialist pimps for every sexual deviant in America. And just be a center-left party that tries to figure out a way to show people compassion and to make sure that the poor and the needy are taken care of. I could accept that. I could respect that. But this stuff that they're doing, I don't accept it. I don't respect it. It's disgusting. And I don't know what we were on prayer this morning for my church, and I mistakenly said that he had signed this bill, but I was wrong. He had signed others, and I picked out something earlier that it said he had signed. I thought that was it. So he has not yet signed this misgendering or dead naming bill. But if I had to take a guess, he'll sign it. He'll sign it. because he's a deviant himself. So why would he not? Why would he not support his fellow deviants in trying to recruit children into their deviancy? So this stuff, folks, is just disgusting. Now, let's take it one step further, because, you know, I think it's Proverbs chapter 30 that says, hell never gets enough. Well, I'm convinced sin never gets enough. A recent poll done by this group, let me see what they call themselves, the Network Contagion Research Institute. And they do polling on attitudes to figure out where people are. They found that 55% of the people on the left think that it is okay to kill somebody, is his name, but it was okay for Luigi Mangione to kill him. And it's okay to kill people that you don't agree with. See, the degeneracy doesn't stop with sexuality. There is a general moral decline. Decline is too mild a word, but a general moral decomposition, because it's like I said, it's taking a jackknife into the abyss is really what they've done. So it's hardly a decline. It's a leap into the pit of depravity. And this is where it takes you. People like me, we're Nazis, we're haters, we're bigots. I denounce violence. I've never, ever called for the hurting of a person. I've reflected a little bit on the kind of anger this engenders, and commended our country that people don't take the law into their own hands in these circumstances. But the left, and by the way, that's what Antifa was all about. Antifa's policies and doctrines were, it is appropriate to use violence to stop the speech of persons who you consider to be quote unquote fascists. And the idiots had so little insight, they didn't realize that their whole posture was fascist, because it's tyrannical and totalitarian. And that's how you stop people from speaking who you don't like or agree with. You attack them violently. You disrupt. You destroy furniture. You throw stuff at them. And maybe if you get close enough, you hit them. Or maybe shoot them. Stab them. Whatever you need to do. I mean, we as Christians would never, true Christians, would never sanction anything like that. That's why I've never called for anything like that, but this is what we're up against. You know, let me just say this on a personal level. Once again, I don't think I've ever gotten into this, but I feel led to say it. There are people out there, I know, who, when they're trying to engage me to speak, find out that I travel with security, and they think that in some cases, that's a little much. And somebody will say to me, "Well, don't worry about that. We've got plenty of security guards." Yeah, they don't realize, number one, my life has been threatened. The threat was serious enough in one case that the FBI investigated it. And by the way, it was a homosexual activist that had threatened to take my life at the point of a gun. That's number one. Number two, where there's one, there's many more. Number three, these sexual deviants seem to be prone to violence. I haven't gotten to this woman who shot up and killed all these children down in Nashville yet, but here's another instance where these people are turning to violence as a way of expressing themselves. I have to explain to people, your having security at your venue is not the same as me having personal protection. Because personal protection means that person is hired with the intent of watching people and watching me to make sure that people present no danger to me. Let me give you an example. I won't tell you where I was because I don't want to embarrass anybody because it wasn't their fault. So I don't want to seem like I'm in any way disparaging. But I was at an event. I'd spoken. I was coming out to the book table to sign books for people who wanted books. And as I came out, there was a woman about, maybe 10, maybe 15 feet ahead of me. She turned around. She saw me. Big smile. Oh, Bishop Jackson. And turned around and headed back in my direction. I smiled at her, and of course I'm with my team. I've got security with me, but I turned around, I smiled, and just kind of greeted her. And then she walked quickly up to shake my hand. I reached out to shake her hand, and when I reached out to shake her hand, she flipped like that. She was pretending to be friendly so that she could get close enough to blast me out. Now, she didn't try to harm me or anything, but it was obvious once she got me where she wanted me, she hated me and everything I represented, and it put on this great big old friendly smile in order to get close enough to just get in my face. I've got organizations to run. I've got a church that relies on me. It's not the biggest church in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but they're the folks that God has given me to be pastor and steward and shepherd for. And I got an organization that I run. It's not the biggest organization in America, but I got staff and I got consultants. I got people across the country who believe in me and believe in what I'm doing. I'm not putting my life at risk if I can help it. And so we got to take this stuff seriously, folks. So, I mean, look, I'd love to speak in as many venues as I can, but just understand that, and I tell people sometimes, I'll speak at places sometimes with no fee, but I tell them, but I don't want it to cost me anything. I mean, if I'm going to come serve you, I don't want to have to pay my own security too. So now, in order to come serve you, I got to pay for it. So take care of that. And there's some people who they just don't get it. But I don't know why, but this stuff is serious. This stuff is serious, folks. And that was just one instance. I could tell you other stories of other things that happened. I went to church one time, there were people waiting for me. When I got there, came in looking for me. And then stood outside. It wasn't a bunch of them, but stood outside with a sign against me. So, yeah, folks, we're living, sadly, in a world in which the left has gone completely off the deep end. They claim to be compassionate, they claim to be caring, they claim to be loving, but they're actually demonic and they're dangerous in many cases. We're not interested in hurting them, not in the least. I'm certainly not. But there are many of them that are interested in hurting us. So if anybody's watching right now and you want to invite me to come speak, I'd be happy to come speak. I mean, I'm not one of these people, you got to give me $50,000 to come somewhere. I just don't roll that way. And I don't charge churches anything, by the way. Church invites me to preach. I don't have a fee. I don't do that to churches. The Bible says freely you have received, freely give. If it's a well-budgeted organization they want me to come, then of course I expect them to pay me to do it. But I don't charge churches anything. If a church gives me nothing, I'm satisfied. If a church gives me $50, I'm satisfied. If they give me something more, praise God, wonderful. But I have to ultimately answer to God to serve the body of Christ. That's why I don't do it that way. But I mean, my goodness, yeah, pay for my transportation, pay for my security. Don't make me pay to come serve you. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people have demanded that of me or expected that of me, but you do get from time to time, get a little bit of people don't quite get it. They don't quite understand, And I was very reluctant to even go there because it smacks of a little bit of self-importance, and I don't like that. I don't like it in others. I don't want it in me. But as a practical matter, you have to do what you have to do. And the Lord really convicted me about that and said, if you want to be a good steward of what I've given you, you've got to take care of your own personal safety and security as you are doing these things. I went years not doing it and had some very close calls. And it really didn't get it. Frankly, it didn't cross my mind until finally this threat happened, and I realized, okay, now I've got to get serious, and did. And so now I got a good team of people who helped me out in that regard. But I just brought all of that up to say, folks, you know, we've got to take seriously the threat that's out there. I'm not paranoid, you know. I don't get up every morning looking over my shoulder or anything like that, or go places doing that. But we've got to take seriously the fact that these people are full of the devil, and they're full of hatred, and they don't have a moral problem with hurting you. I mean, 55% of these leftists think killing somebody over an issue of what they call social justice is okay. I mean, there are people, I said, I am a Zionist. Yeah, I believe in the right of Israel to return. I believe that God gave them that land. I believe in Jews making Aliyah. I believe that Jerusalem is the undivided capital of Israel. And there are people who'd kill me for that. I don't care. I'm not going to stop. But I'm not going to try to be an easy target either. I hope you won't be either. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it's just one of those issues that has come up. It comes up from time to time. And I just figured I'd just put it out there. So in addition to all the other things that I have to pay for Stan, that's part of what I have to pay for as well, to make sure that I am safe when I travel about. Because, you know, you go to places like I told you about this woman. She had come there maybe for the express purpose of confronting me, but was just, I mean, think about how diabolical that is. To pretend to be friendly so you can get close enough to someone. If that woman wanted to stab me, she probably would have wounded me. She wanted to do something to me because she disarmed me by being so friendly. But then when she got close, of course, my team stepped in and separated us and moved me on. It was clear she was not friendly at all. So these people are not playing around, okay? Neither are we. We should be prepared to defend ourselves, but we're not people who are out looking to do violence to others. These people want to kill President Trump. And I'm talking about me. I'm small potatoes. They want to kill him. And there are probably, folks, I wouldn't doubt there are thousands of people out there who would love to kill him. Well, they can't get to him. Maybe they can get to me, or get to you, or get to somebody who they feel represents the things that they hate. Okay. You get the point. These people do not care about you, do not care about your family, do not care about your well-being. All they care about is power, how to get it, how to keep it, and how to control your life in the process. That's all they care about. And they don't care about illegal aliens raping children. They care about getting as many of them in here into the country as they can as a new power base for them. That's what they care about. And by the way, the school shooter at the Covenant School, she was a gender confused woman, I guess, trying to become a man. I always get confused. Are these people trying to become? Are they men trying to become women? Are they women trying to become men? What is the deal with them? Because, I mean, it's just ridiculous. She killed 3 children and 3 adults. What was this woman's name? Of course, we ought to. Oh, her name was Hale. Audrey Hale. Gunned down 6 people. And get this, folks. She had made up her mind in her own warped thinking. Again, this is where the Democrat Party leads and where the left is leading people. That she wanted to make sure she killed white children, not black children. Because she figured if she killed black children, people would call her a racist. And she didn't want to be called a racist. She didn't mind being called a murderer. But she didn't want to be called a racist. So she just wanted to kill white children. And apparently wanted to kill Christian children too, because she thought about some public schools and bypassed those. She wanted to get this Christian school. Because of course we know that Christianity is oppressive, and we know that white people are the Christian oppressors. So why not kill white children at a Christian school? Perfect, right? I mean, look, folks, you and I cannot even fathom this kind of thinking. We can't. We just have to accept it as a reality that we're confronted with. You and I, our brains, our consciences, our hearts won't let us relate to this. Because it is so evil, it is so supremely evil that you just can't relate to it. All you know is it's real, and you've got to confront it, you've got to deal with it. They're finally releasing some of her writings, and this is one of the things that they found out, that, she wanted to make sure, she didn't want to kill any black people because she wouldn't want to be accused of being a racist. See, this is this identity nonsense that the left is perpetrating. Is what? So I guess white children are less human. So it's okay to kill them. You can't kill black children. I mean, that's... You see what I mean? You can't... I can't wrap my mind around that kind of thinking. I can't. All I can do is acknowledge it and be prepared to confront it if I ever have to. That's all we can do, folks. That's all we can do. I mean, in some ways, you don't want to try to enter into the thinking of this person because it is so wicked and twisted that your brain just goes on tilt trying to even grasp it or understand it. Now, you have people say, well, she was suffering from some of this kind of mental illness. I say, yeah, more she's suffering from moral illness. Because she'd been plotting this and planning this for a long time, collecting up the guns, getting everything that she needed. I mean, so she was rational enough to be able to go out and buy weapons and store them and take training to learn how to use them. And so she was rational enough to be able to do all that. And even when her therapist questioned her, because she was apparently in therapy, questioned her about it, she was able to satisfy him. Oh, no, because she had been suicidal at one point. Oh, no, I'm fine now. Nah, I'm not even thinking of it. Nah. Convinced her father, her mother, and her therapist that all was well. Just collecting up a few guns for fun. So, be prepared. That's all I can tell you, folks. Be prepared. Our hearts are set on peace with all people. I don't have any interest in hurting anybody for any reason. The people who disagree with me, the people who hate me, the people who want to hurt me, the threats I've received, I still love those people and pray for them. I really do. I really do. Because I know that they're in the clutches of the devil. They're too spiritually blind to know, but I know they're in the clutches of the devil. And so I pray for them. I'm not interested in hurting them. I have to admit, when something like this guy raping these kids and killing one of them happens, it causes anger to rise up in me. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. But I wouldn't act on it because I'm a disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm simply not going to do that. Unless I see you trying to hurt a child or somehow I'm involved in the effort to try to prevent it, or I'm in some position to prevent it, that's a different story. But, this is already done. And now the question is, what do you do with him? Well, you try him. And if he's guilty, they're talking about he could potentially get the death penalty. Yeah, okay. He deserves it. We'll see. We'll see. Look, a couple of things before I go. Did you all hear about this, speaking of all this deviancy stuff, about this Christian nurse who refused to refer to this man who's a pedophile, okay? She's a Christian. Now, this is not in America, but folks, this is where they're trying to take us. She refused to refer to this man, convicted of pedophilia, by the way. And then after being convicted of pedophilia, suddenly he's a woman now. She refused to refer to him as a woman. They suspended her from her job for refusing to call a convicted pedophile by a female name. Again, you know, Jesus said in the last days, iniquity would abound and the love of many would grow cold. What kind of person are you to suspend this woman because she is not willing to call a pedophile by a female identity that the pedophile has now concocted, probably for reasons, probably in order to get into the women's prison, probably. And who knows, when they've tried this, of course, you know, with the newly found men with a female identity, you know what they do when they get into the female prison? They rape the women. But she's suspended from her job and may be fired because she misgendered him. I mean, this stuff it is. You know what? I got to go. But it's again. How do you wrap your mind around this stuff? You can't. You just take it for what it is, and be prepared to protect yourself and protect your family from all these predators and these exploiters of children and the innocent out there who have this sexual deviancy agenda. The Democrat Party, the Democrat Party, the Disney is part of this, and a whole bunch of other folks are part of this. And basically, we have to just keep our guard up, not be paranoid, but even paranoids have enemies. But just be ready to defend ourselves clearly, unequivocally, and without compromise. And I don't care what they call me. They can say, well, he's anti-gay. Oh, please. I don't even recognize that word. The word means happy, carefree, joyful. And homosexuals are not that. They're homosexuals. Okay? And sexual deviants. Yeah, that's right. I said it because that's the truth. And part of the reason why we're facing this whole gender craziness is because instead of acknowledging that and refusing to ever go off that, we kind of normalized homosexuality. Now we're being told, but now you got to normalize some guy who says he's a woman and you don't call him by his woman's name. You forget, you misgender him, you lose your job. What? That's right. You misgendered. And look, folks, how 3, 4, 5 years ago at least, we never even heard of the word misgendered or dead naming. Now you lose your job or you have your business license snatched away because you misgendered or you dead named somebody or you have your child taken away. Lord, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over this nation. Oh God, let your righteousness prevail. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Save this country from those who would drag it into the abyss of moral depravity and degradation. Lord God, in the name of Jesus, destroy the Democrat Party and let something arise that is more rational and more righteous and truly concerned and caring for people rather than this feigned, fake nonsense, which is nothing but the idolatry of power playing itself out in the lives of other people through manipulations and exploitations, and even to the point of abusing children sexually, whether by playing with their bodies and mutilating their bodies and injecting them with hormones, or outright, as this illegal alien invader just did, molesting and murdering a child. Lord, deliver us and deliver America. Let America be a nation whose God is the Lord. Let the righteous be in authority so that the people will rejoice. And Lord, bless President Donald Trump and every governor, every senator in this country who is trying to lead righteously. Bless them. And Lord God, let all of those who are filled with wickedness receive the recompense that is due. And we thank you and we praise you for America's victory over the forces of evil in Jesus' name. Stand up, step up, speak up, refuse to back up, because we cannot be defeated if we will not quit, because we are on God's side. God bless everybody.